Do you think curling up with a good book beats a party any day of the week? Do you consider it a win when you've gone a whole day without talking to anyone? Does your cat know more about your personal life than most of your friends? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you just might be a loner. However, just because the term loner may have taken on some negative connotations doesn't mean being one is a bad thing by any means. There's evidence to suggest that loners aren't inherently unhappy, and in many cases are of higher intelligence than their extroverted counterparts. In fact, according to social scientists Nicholas Christakis and James Fowler, co-authors of Connected, The Surprising Power of Our Social Networks and How They Shape Our Lives, if you're a not-so-social butterfly, you're, somewhat ironically, in good company. According to one study conducted by the authors, the vast majority of American adults polled had just 2 non-family members they counted as close friends, while other estimates suggest that between 1/3 and 1/2 of the adult population is introverted. Loners tend to be introverts. They enjoy their own company and like choosing how to spend their time to follow their interests, says psychotherapist Karen R. Koenig, LCSW, M.Ed. This is where they get their juice, not from being with other people. If this sounds like you, read on to discover some surefire signs you're a loner. And if you're wondering why flying solo can be a good thing, discover these 20 reasons spending time alone is essential for your health. If you're a loner, your ideal evening isn't spent out on the town. In fact, you think the best seat in the house is right in your living room. That doesn't mean you can't enjoy going out, however, it just means you know that the best company is your own. And when you want to make your alone time more relaxing, check out these 30 easy ways to fight stress. Being a loner doesn't necessarily mean you avoid all social functions, but it does mean you choose them carefully, and that you generally need some time to recuperate afterward. As introverts, many of them may get overwhelmed by too much socializing, says Koenig. But many loners enjoy the company of others, as long as they have the choice to take them in small doses. Just because you're a loner doesn't mean you're always eager to be completely alone. In fact, many loners are devoted pet parents. If you're a loner, your furry friends may even seem like better conversationalists than your average human, or at least better listeners. However, there is some link between being a loner and the kind of four-legged company you keep. Researchers at the University of Texas at Austin found that cat owners were more likely to be introverted than those with canine companions. If you're a loner, the idea of heading to a crowded bar and trying to meet someone in person sounds about as pleasant as getting a root canal without anesthesia. And while online dating is significantly more comfortable, the idea of actually meeting up with any of your prospective dates takes a lot of mental energy. In your book, the best way to get something done right is to do it alone. That means that when you're tasked with doing a group project, you're eager to split up the work as soon as possible so you don't get stuck with a chatty partner. A dark room where nobody's talking is practically your idea of heaven, so you're a frequent solo moviegoer. It doesn't matter to you in the slightest that you're surrounded by people on dates or they're with their friends. To you, seeing a movie solo just makes more sense. Ah, the sweet relief of cancelled plans. While you do feel some genuine concern when a friend informs you they've come down with the flu, you also breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that the less time you spend with them means more time to yourself. If it can't be communicated digitally, it's not worth doing in your book. You communicate with work via Messenger, order food via app, and send info to your family via group chat. To you, it's not only a more expeditious means of conveying information, it also protects you against the inevitable exhaustion that follow most in-person conversations and Skype sessions. Just because you largely prefer your own company doesn't mean you don't want a romantic relationship. However, it does mean figuring out the balance between making the other person feel valued and giving yourself ample time to spend alone. Loners can be very engaged with and loyal to the people they love and care about, but even with them, they need time to themselves, says Koenig. You've never understood the stigma against eating alone. In fact, you'll take virtually any opportunity to have a meal by yourself. To you, your favorite book provides every bit as much mealtime company as a friend might, and your dog-eared copy of Anna Karenina never asks to split dessert. When your phone rings, your mind starts to race. Who's calling? What do they want? Are they going to leave? A voicemail? Texting is always a more comfortable means of communication for you, and you're not the only one who feels that way. A recent survey by Open Market reveals that 75% of millennials would take a text over a phone call any day of the week. Being a loner doesn't mean that you don't want to keep in touch, it just means that you'd prefer to do it from a distance. You love getting to see all the highlights from your friends' lives, their weddings, their promotions, the birth of their children, but to you, it's information best accessed from behind a screen. If you're a loner, you know that sleeping solo is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, and you've got the just big enough for you and no one else twin bed to prove it. Why would you let someone snoring, flopping from side to side, and trying to cuddle you interfere with a good night's rest, anyway? The 3 words you least want to hear from someone at the office aren't, "You've been fired," "There, drinks after work?" While spending time with your coworkers is a necessary evil to you, the thought of adding hours to your time together at a crowded bar seems like a punishment and not a reward. There are few things you enjoy less than having a stranger come talk to you on the street. With that in mind, you favor clothing that's not flashy. You'd never be caught dead in a logo t-shirt or pants with writing on the butt. When other people imagine their dream vacations, they imagine friends and family coming with them. For you, peak relaxation means flying solo the whole time. In your mind, there's nothing better than sightseeing by yourself and getting to do everything on your own schedule. And when you want a relaxing solo trip, just because you're a loner doesn't mean you don't have any friends. In fact, you have a great support network, albeit a highly curated one. Loners are often misunderstood, in that they're all thought to be antisocial. Some are and some are not, says Koenig. You'd love to try SoulCycle and Zumba intrigues you, but for now, you're stuck pedaling and dancing alone in your living room. While you're not opposed to camaraderie, per se, the thought of having an instructor talk to you personally while you sweat it out, or any pressure to go for post-workout smoothies, isn't worth the risk. Schedules are kind of your thing, so last-minute plans tend to get on your last nerve. You need to know that you'll have enough time to be alone, preferably both before and after any kind of social affair, so you never feel bad about turning down plans that only leave you a few minutes to get ready. Thank you for watching. Please support our small channel and see you soon.